The weight of steel and memory. The Eternal Meridian had no business being beautiful. She was a warship, 7 kilometers of reinforced titanium alloy, plasmalance batteries running along her spine like vertebrae, missile bays deep enough to swallow smaller frigates whole. Her hull bore the scorch marks of 43 engagements. She had outlived 6 admirals and 2 wars. But when Commander Elias Vero stood on the observation deck and watched her from the docking cradle of Waystation Curl, he felt something he hadn't felt in years. Pride. Raw, aching, almost embarrassing pride. "She's fueled and armed," said Lieutenant Petra Holst, appearing at his shoulder, datapad in hand. Her voice was clipped, professional. She had the eyes of someone who had stopped sleeping well a long time ago. Full complement. 4,200 crew. And the Dreth lines? Vero asked. Petra was quiet for a moment. "Still holding, sir." "Barely." Vero said nothing. He pressed one hand against the cold viewport glass, as if he could reach through it and touch the ship. The Eternal Meridian had been Earth's answer to extinction once before. It would have to be again. The Warzone at the edge of everything. The Kethra Rift was not a place. It was a wound. 40 light-years of contested space where the Dreth Collective had been pushing humanity back, system by system, for 3 years. The stars here burned differently, red giants and collapsed dwarfs pulling at each other in slow gravitational agony, filling the region with sensor noise and gravitational shear. Navigation was half mathematics, half instinct. Pilots either learned the rift or they didn't survive it. When the Eternal Meridian dropped out of fold space at the rift's edge, Vero stood at the center of the bridge. The main display lit up with tactical data, 17 human vessels holding the line, battered, running on reserve power. Beyond them, the Dreth Armada, 300 warships arranged in a crescent formation, a jaw waiting to close. Then, nothing. The Dreth ship stopped firing. Silence. Not the silence of space, which was always silence. This was different. This was the silence of something very large and very dangerous pausing to recognize something it had not expected to see. "They're reading our ID signature," said comms officer Devon Marsh, voice hushed with something between wonder and dread. "Let them," Vero said. Recognition. On the lead Dreth command vessel, something unprecedented happened. The Collective's battle mind, a distributed intelligence woven from thousands of Dreth warrior commanders, halted its attack protocols. It searched its war memory. It found the record it was looking for. The Eternal Meridian. The ship that had destroyed the Dreth forward fleet at the Battle of Yemra Prime. The ship that had held the Kallian Gate alone for 11 days while humanity evacuated 3 billion civilians. The ship that the Dreth had designated in their own war language by a phrase that translated, roughly, as the thing that does not stop. The battle mind processed the data. It recalculated. It waited. The parley. Vero accepted the transmission himself. The Dreth ambassador, a towering, 6-limbed creature whose carapace was the color of deep ocean, stared at him through the holofield. Its translator bead pulsed amber. "You bring the old ship," it said. "I bring the Eternal Meridian," Vero confirmed. "Why?" Vero leaned forward. "Because your armada is 300 ships and I have one. And I want you to understand something, that ship behind me has never lost. Not once. And I am prepared to spend every single one of my 4,000 crew to make sure that record holds today." He paused. "Or you can withdraw. And we talk." The ambassador's carapace clicked. The Dreth equivalent of a long, slow breath. "You would die for this. Every one of us." The silence that followed lasted 11 seconds. Vero counted each one. Stillness. The Dreth Armada withdrew. Not in defeat, in the particular, careful way that a predator steps back from something it has chosen not to fight today. There was no ceremony to it. One by one, their ships peeled away, folding back into the dark. On the bridge of the Eternal Meridian, nobody cheered. They stood at their stations, watching the tactical display clear, and they felt the peculiar exhaustion that comes not from battle, but from the moment battle is averted. When the thing you were prepared to die for turns out to require only that you show up. Petra Holst let out one long, slow breath. Flagship to fleet, Vero said quietly into the comms. Stand down. Outside the viewports, the stars of the Kefir rift burned on, indifferent, ancient, unchanged, as they always had, and always would, long after the wars of small, fierce creatures were finally, mercifully, done.